Hey everyone, Pastor Tim here with this week's update for Mercy Church. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you want to reach out to us, you can email us info@mercychurchnh.com and we'll get back to you. Again, that email info@mercychurchnh.com. So every week we talk about loving God, loving others, and making disciples. That's what Mercy Church is all about. Let's talk about loving God. That's about us growing our relationship with God. Certainly, we know one way to do that is to be studying and deep in Scripture. How about memorizing Scripture? That's another way to do it. So we have Scripture not just bouncing around in our minds when we open up the Bible, but it's in our minds and in our hearts, even when our Bibles are not opened up. So let me lay a challenge before you. I want to encourage you to memorize the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 28 to 31. Now, why those verses? Because that's where Jesus is asked about the greatest command. And he says it's about loving God and loving others. So if you memorize the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 28 to 31, you'll have memorized 2/3 of what Mercy Church is all about and ultimately what Jesus wants our lives to be all about, loving God and loving others. Again, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 28 to 31. Memorize that. Work on that this week and in the weeks to come. So that's a great way to grow your relationship with God, memorizing Scripture. Now, when it comes to loving others, I want to let you know that not this upcoming Sunday, but in a nearby upcoming Sunday, we're going to be doing a collection for Operation Blessing. It's going to be of men's clothing, particularly winter clothing. So jackets, boots, hats, pants, shirts, gloves, things that men can wear in the winter. They have a lot of need at Operation Blessing right now for those types of pieces of clothing. So prepare, be thinking ahead. If you're out, maybe you want to pick up some lower cost items. Maybe you have some around the house that are in good shape that you can donate. But in a couple weeks, we're going to be collecting men's winter items. Now, the last thing I want to do is bring a challenge before you. When we talk about making disciples, that's about us investing in others so that they can grow in their relationship with God. And Paul writes to the church at Thessalonica, he says this. He says, when I get to heaven, what is my joy and my crown? It's you. It's the people that I invested in. So I want to lay a challenge before you to be thinking about this. Who have you and who are you investing in, such that when you stand before God one day and he says, what's the crown that you have here, that you could point to those people and say, I've invested in those people spiritually. Investing in those people, spoiler alert, does not just mean, well, you preach on Sunday, well, you led some music on Sunday. Who have you invested in spiritually? Think about that. Put some time into thinking about that and realize that God says those people are your joy and your crown. Maybe it's that you've walked with somebody and poured encouragement and scripture into their life in a tough season. Maybe you've led a Bible study. Maybe you've led a prayer group. Maybe you've just one-on-one invested in somebody and taught them the ways of God. That person might be your joy and your crown. So I just want you to think about that. Your joy and your crown. Who is that person in your life? And if you say, I don't have anybody like that just yet, or there's a challenge then, lean into the opportunity to invest in somebody spiritually so that one day soon you can say, yes, when I get to heaven, that person is my joy and my crown. There you have it. Loving God, loving others, making disciples. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.